So today we're going to take a look at an interesting game that happened between Navi and Vitality here on Breeze. And it's interesting for a couple of reasons. One is that we got to see, the new Navi and Vitality play as well. Two teams that I'm pretty interested to see how they are performing and whatnot. But secondly, Vitality were also playing a pretty interesting comp with both Viper and Harbor here on Breeze. No duelist, Harbor Viper. I'm interested, right? And well, I've been making a couple videos about pro teams using Harbor, and hey, it doesn't look too bad. There seems to be some things that are okay in this sense. But well, we got another example here from Vitality, and I do think some of the things that they did were pretty interesting. Now they are playing no duelist, right? And generally, when you get a no duelist comp, there are certain things that you're going to want to do more and less, right? So you generally don't want to force it down a choke point as a big 5, or at least, definitely not narrow, long choke points like this one on B. This one on A isn't as difficult, but, you generally aren't going to want to go for that as much. And you want to go for more split pushes, right? Come in from different angles, so that the opponents can't just essentially, put a bit of utility in a choke point or spam down onto a choke point and you're all just dead because you don't have a duelist to create that space. So that is what they are going to do here in this first round on this pistol round. So you see we got our Harbor here, and they're going to start off with just this nice little wall across mid, as you can see just there. They actually put a chamber trap here as well. I thought that was a very, very interesting thing, maybe expecting that Navi, would use this wall themselves essentially to, potentially push down here and kind of use the wall as their own cover, but then put a chamber trap here as well, so that as you come in onto the site, you can know whether they have come and tried to follow behind you. Very interesting, I thought. And they're actually going to, obviously normally we see this Viper wall that comes across here, very, very standard, right? Everyone does it. They're actually going to go for a bit of a different Viper wall that comes across like so as well. It gives them a bit more space on the site to defend it from a bit more of an aggressive position, perhaps. Early KO knife comes in as well, as you can see, and they start to come in onto the site. Now a KO knife comes back and does suppress them a bit. The dart here from the Sova is maybe a little bit late, because you can see that we are already coming in onto the site for Vitality here, and they're going to manage to get the first kill on Zipan just there, and then these two are going to go swinging together and manage to get Angel as well. We end up in this 5v3. But Xiao is in position. I'm not sure here if this Harbor positioning, I think because the Harbor Destrian had to go back and destroy that Sova dart that I was talking about back here, is just a little bit behind these two. And so what's going to happen is he's going to throw out the cascade that's going to come down here. But you see that what's going to happen is Twisten is actually going to die to Xiao before that wall comes out. You'll see it just there. So look, he dies just before. I'm not sure if on the timing of this, this wall is meant to come out, as they are running down here, right? This wall is meant to be coming up there. Perhaps the timing was just a tiny bit off, but that did cost them that kill. Anyway, we end up in a 4v3, and they will get the spike down. So, still a pretty successful round overall for Vitality. And now you can see that this wall, does cause them a bit of problem here. Navi, creates a bit of delay overall as they respect that wall with no flashes to go through it. This more aggressive Viper wall comes out, right? So there's a lot more angles that now you have to, kind of clear as well. As they do have a bit more space with this Viper wall. But in come Navi now on this 4v3, and we're going to see, though, this is like the idea, I think, behind obviously the Viper and Harbor. If you have both alive in a post point, right, you put up this Viper wall, you put it up. But of course, eventually the toxins are going to fail. But then you have the Harbor wall come in to kind of supplant. So you can just constantly be putting up these smokes. And that is what they're doing here. And obviously the Harbor wall, they expect them to have, cleared a bit of this Viper wall now. So the Harbor wall comes in a bit more shallow. And now you have to deal with the Harbor wall as well. And just creating a bit of chaos. Now somehow CNED lives through that and actually manages to get the kill and doesn't die. And then what's going to happen here with Bone Cold, I have no idea. Because he's going to miss every shot. But it feels like everyone just misses him as well. Don't really know how. But Molesy managed to get one. We end up in a 2v2. And someone was asking me a question on Discord about players that, maybe aren't getting enough hype, but I expect to be very, very good. Molesy might be at the top of that list. He is a very, very, very good player. And, well, we see it in this round as he manages to get a 4K as well for Vitality here. But he is one to keep your eye on, because he is a player that I think could play, at the very, very top of the game. And he is a very, very strong player indeed. And now let's come to round number 7, because this was a beautiful round from Team Vitality. So what's going to happen is we've got a Harbor here. He's going to come down hole. he's going to put up the little cascade wall down in towards Hall here. And I do think I mentioned this, that Hall, I think, is kind of the main position for this harbor to play. So there's that cascade. You can see it just going down Hall just there. They get the ult up for the KO as well, and they take this A main control. And now you're going to see that a harbor wall is going to come in across the site just there, as you can see. But now we are going to see a really, really nice exec. So KO flash is just going to come in here. So they're going to flash this to come around this first corner. And then it's going to go chaotic. And we'll stay here on the map. You see they do that deeper Viper wall. And again, they send in the Sova drone just there. In comes this Sova dart as well. And now it all kicks off because in comes a harbor ult. And you see that Sugetsu here, he's just in a world of pain. This dart, he has to go back and shoot. He's now going to get harbor ulted. He's then also going to get Sova ulted, as you see. And I've mentioned about the Sova ult and the harbor ult. They create chaos, right? The sound cues going on. There's a lot going on in general. You have to be avoiding it. You have to be moving. You see the Sugetsu, he's just running around. He's jumping around. He eventually gets hit by it. Destrian actually manages to get a kill on Angel back here in Halls. But then Molzy, this is the thing, right? The Silver ult's going off, the Harbor ult's going off. So Getsu is just like jumping around, right? He's not focusing on anything else but avoiding those ults. But Molzy's just running in behind it, right? So they just have no idea that Molzy is this far forward, and he's going to get basically a free kill there on Sugetsu as he's just jumping around. Because of the chaos caused by that. But then they're also aware of this flank from CNED as well, as you see just there. Sender gets that kill, and we end up in a 5v2. Really, really, really nice round here from Vitality. They open up the door as well. Just a great exec onto the site. I mean, Sugetsu was just in so much trouble when all of this came through. It was a really, really good idea in general from them, and I think a very good, just a good round from them. Destrian gets maybe, he sees the gun, I think, there of Shaun, so, starts thinking maybe there's a free one there. Navi, like they are wont to do, like old FPX, somehow managed to turn a 5v2 into a 2v1, just from pure player skill alone. But Vitality will win the round, and I thought this was just a very, very nice exec onto the site, showing a lot of the different things that they were able to do with this comp. And now let's come to round number 10. The round has just started, and what we've got is we've got this early harbor wall just in there, and we're sending the cascade this way. Now, one thing I do think that Navi did well to try and limit the impact of this harbor is that some of the walls that Destrian was throwing, like this one here, you could see that they've just kind of disrespected it, right? CNED has just quickly come out and is already ahead of the wall and looking beyond it. And this is something that I think Navi did pretty well to try and, mitigate the use of that harbor by just, saying, well, yeah, you've put up this wall that, if I was sitting back here, I wouldn't know what's going on. So I'm just actually going to, at the very start of the round, just push through it, get aggressive, get past it, and, limit that impact. But this is going to be a pretty interesting round overall for, some of the weird things that go on. CNED is going to see Boncold here, but actually just missed that shot just there. And we've got the harbor push deep up in Halls. But you can see the shock dart just came in, it hit Destrian. So he puts down the cove there as well, just to fake like he could come back, right? He could stay, and he is going to stay. He's actually going to put up a second cascade in there as well, and just, continue to basically just sit here, essentially. Now, whilst that's going on, as we can see here, they are beginning to push up in towards A main as well. What we're going to get from Angel is a little knife in response, and we're going to get this harbor wall that goes across the site just there, and you think like, oh, okay, they might be coming in onto the site just now. Now, Navi have a very good stranglehold of mid. They have this cross with an operator as well, so they feel like this B site, they pretty much have everything, covered at this point. They feel pretty confident in knowing, where Vitality are and what they're trying to do. You see Xiao here is basically just waiting for Destrian to kind of peek past his wall, and actually Xiao goes and tucks in just as Destrian does come and take a little look. But then the wall drops, and we end up on 1 HP for Destrian. But as they were starting to come in, and I think they did send in a Sova drone in here as well, we actually got a KO ult in response from Angel, which is going to push them back. So we end up in a situation where, yes, they got the first kill, but now, 37 seconds left, they're kind of scrambling. CNED is like looking to see, oh, they aren't coming in, seeing if they're rotating. He actually gets killed there by Sender as well, as you can see by the Viper in mid. So Getsu is going to send, if Destrian was on 1 HP, so Getsu's going to send in a snakebite to him, and he gets that kill just there, so we're back into a 4v3 now. And then Twisten actually manages to get Getsu with an op all the way down towards Halls, but we've still got Zipan here in a very tricky spot. He manages to kill Sender, but gets traded very well by Boncold. We end up in a 3v1 against Angel, but Angel is going to play this very well. He actually, I think, thinks that they're going off towards B, right? Oh, they got that kill there. The B site's free. That, he's the KO, he's ulted. That, they should know that he is you know, or at least he was on A, right? So what's going to happen is Bone Cold is going to see him just there, okay? And they both shoot bullets. Neither of them hit, but I want you to watch just this tiny little movement that Angel's going to do, because he's going to come and walk up against this wall, and this is going to be crucial for winning this round, I think, because what you'll see is Bone Cold, look, he gets into position, he waits for Malsey, and they're going to try and swing this together. Now, the thing is, on Angel's last position, yes, they both could see him, but the thing is, because he's coming tucked up right against this wall, he's actually going to isolate this fight against Bone Cold and not, you know, basically be double swinged, and so he's going to find together. You see that Malsey is running out there as this shot is taken, and he's trying to double swing, but, you know, just the angle, the reposition from Angel is really, really good, and so now he's able to get the second kill as well. Now the time is really low. Right now we're on 12 seconds and the spike is here. So this is kind of a, you know, do or die situation. Twisten has to just run and try and get the spike. You know, Angel sees him. Angel knows that he has to commit to try and getting the spike. And so he manages to get the final kill. Wins a 3v1. And sometimes you can see it's just the tiny, tiny little details that can win you a round. Now let's come to round number 15. So now Vitality are on the defensive side. Navi are attacking. And what we are going to see just here is Twisten playing this incredibly well. So we've got a minute left in the round or whatnot, and you can see that Navi, there's a pretty heavy mid focus actually from both teams. This is the bonus for Vitality, so they don't have great guns in this one. But what's going to happen is Twisten is going to just peek out of mid and find the first kill just there from this position. He manages to get that first kill with the headhunter. We end up in this 5v4. Great start for Vitality, and then we're going to get this hub wall to try and basically make it seem like he can escape now. But as you can see, again, as I was talking about before, Zipan is already ahead of that wall, and already has kind of got the information that they need for Vitality. But a very good cove comes in as well from Destrian just there. You just saw it. Basically again creates that question mark, right? But now here what you see is that Navi are going to begin to push up through this cove. They get deeper in onto the site, and a rendezvous is going to get destroyed here, and I think that might just alert Twisten to what is about to happen. But what you're going to see here is we're going to get the first kill. Detrian's going to manage to get one, but CNED trades it out. So now Twisten knows that there's multiple people coming from there. So you see that he backs up, right? He backs up, and you see that they have a bit of an idea he might be there. But now he's going to turn, and he's going to get a free kill there on Zipan as they're kind of searching the rest of the site for where he might be. He manages to get another kill. But the way he plays this is so good, because he's now, they know where he is now, and he's trapped, right? And help is still a bit of a way away, right? And he's trapped. There's two people here, one from each angle. He's got his free kill, but now he's gonna die. We'll end up in a 2v3. The spike will probably go down. We'll see what happens, right? But no, because Twisten plays this incredibly well. He plays this incredibly well, right? So you see, he's just looking for CNED, because the thing is here, he's just got this free kill, right? And so often what will happen in pro games is that you'll get a kill, right? And then if there's someone there with them, they'll come round and they'll try and trade, right? And he knows that CNED is here. He shot him. He knows that CNED is there, and so he's waiting for this trade. But it's not going to come. Right, CNED's not going to come peeking out of this angle, and normally what that means, at least in pro games, is that there's someone else from another angle who's going to come and trade you instead, and get a free kill on you. In this instance, it's here from Xiao, but just watch Twisten. He knows that that's the case. He's waiting for this early swing, and then he knows, right? He knows. You see that CNED isn't coming for that trade, so instead, he knows that Xiao perhaps is coming from the other way, finds him, and then we see a great flash here as well. Unfortunately, he runs out of bullets, and so isn't able to get the kill on CNED. But the thing is that he's bought so much time, and this is the thing that I mention it a lot as well. If you just live as a defender on the site, oftentimes that can be as good as a kill, right? Because it means that these guys now that have been on this rotate can essentially trade you, right? Like he bought so much time there, Twisten, that these guys have managed to, actually get all the way onto the site. So this is actually just a trade of a kill, and this is a free kill basically for Malsey here. And you see that they will win the round as he trades Twisten rather than Twisten just dying on site. So one of the big things I would say is try and live. Living is very, very good, and Twisten played that extremely well. And now let's come to round 22, which is truly a bizarre round. It's going to start off with CNED doing some CNED things. He manages to win that first 1v1 there, and he's going to do it against his old teammate Bone Cold as well. We end up in a 5v3, and so you're thinking, oh, well, this is just going to be easy for Navi now, but they are going to commit, a bit of a cardinal sin here. Because as you will see, Xiao is here alone with the spike in a 5v3. He's going to go pushing A main, and he's going to run into Sender just there, and he's going to lose the spike. And so, bit of a mistake there by Xiao as he loses the spike here, and now the defenders have it. And anytime you have these rounds, right, where the spike is in a position where the defenders kind of have it, things can get weird. And so what's going to happen is Sender, he puts up his wall, he puts up a snake bite, but he's worried obviously about someone coming on the other side of A main and come wrapping around that way, right? Quite difficult. So Destrian comes in to help him, kind of secure that space. And so now he has his ult as well. And so now he's going to pop that ult on the spike, right? But just watch this. Angel, as that ult is going off, look at him. He's just going to run in. He's just going to swipe the spike just like that. And Sender's like looking around and he realizes that he's just been, stolen from right under his nose. He actually does manage to kill Angel somehow there as well. But now Zipan's going to just manage to get the spike. And then we're just going to get this harbor wall come in from Destrian, as you see, just across there. But it's just going to go up. Zipan literally just manages to round the corner. And then this wall is just going to help him escape. But you might have seen also on the map that Sogetsu is just sitting here on the other side of this wall. So what's going to happen is, Sogetsu eventually is going to come back up to Hall. And he's going to see, oh, there's Sender. And so he manages to get that kill on Sender just there. We end up in this 4v2. But the weirdness doesn't stop there. Because now we're in a 3v2, sorry. The chamber trap goes off as well. That's still up and online. And it's just complete chaos. So Getsu just goes running down halls. And now these two, they think about going B. They don't know to go to B. And eventually they're going to see Molesy here in mid. And unfortunately, I was praising him before, but he probably wants that shot back. They don't get that shot. And now, they see Destrian just there. So Getsu picks him off. They managed to win the round. They would go on to win this game and therefore the series, and then they would go on to win the tournament as well, which, I think most people would expect Navi to win the tournament, but yeah, it was a very interesting game. I like some of the ideas that we saw from both teams. It was a well-fought game. I think the way that, they kind of look in these games, it looks like... I like where these two teams are at, I think, and where they will be, heading into Sao Paulo. Very interesting game. And yeah, Harbor and Viper, I'm kind of interested, I'm kind of into Harbor. Maybe that's just going to become my corner. I'm just going to be pro Harbor from now on, and try and sing his praises as much as I can, because I do think, it's not been that bad.